Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Ben, and if you guys haven't seen it, Kawasaki released yet another teaser video on the new Kawasaki KLE, and we actually have a date listed now, which is pretty exciting. So in today's video, we're going to go over that footage in sort of an in-depth format, taking a close look at the sort of more clear images that we got this time, especially in comparison to the last teaser that they put out. And this teaser actually seems to be somewhat of a continuation of the last one. And if you guys haven't seen that video that I put out just a couple weeks ago on that teaser, I can put a link for it in the upper right and down in the description. And I'll also put the link for the original video that I did on this bike when we first got a glimpse of it at the EICMA bike show. And I don't want to rehash too much of the information that's in either of those videos. You can definitely go check them out, and I would recommend it because there is a lot of good info on that bike there, or at least a lot of good assumptions and guesses maybe. But one thing that I think is fairly certain that I wanted to mention, I suppose two things actually. One, the motor that they're going to be using in this bike, I think has to be the same parallel twin from the Ninja 500. And if you guys saw that very first video, you know that I'm not actually the one that came up with this idea. A guy by the name of Dennis Chung that wrote an article for motorcycle.com was at least the first one that I saw proposing this idea. And looking at the images from the EICMA bike show and the images that Kawasaki has on their website for the Ninja 500, I think it's pretty clear that it has to be this motor. I know there are a lot of other motors that they could use, and maybe some of you guys would have rather seen in this bike, but honestly, I'm really pretty happy to see the Ninja 500 motor in here. It seems like we should have somewhere around 50 horsepower and somewhere in the low 30s for torque, which mixed with my assumption of somewhere around a 400-pound adventure bike, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot better out there. Sure, there's bikes like my XR650L adventure build back there that weigh about somewhere around 300 and maybe 60 pounds with all the adventure gear that I've got on it. But I think having a real adventure bike that's a little bit lower, built a little bit stronger, and well, built and designed in this century, I think is just going to be amazing. So I'm really pretty excited about this bike. The other thing that I wanted to mention before we get into the footage is that I don't think that this bike is actually going to replace the KLR 650. I think that bike honestly is a great bike, and if you guys don't know, I actually did buy and build and then traded one of those for the other bike that I'm testing against the XR, the DR650, and I can put playlists down in the description and I suppose in the upper right too for both of those adventure builds. They're both great bikes, a little bit old, kind of archaic, no ABS or fancy electronics. So if you're into that, they're a great option. But I think this new KLE is going to be an updated version of the KLR and maybe upgraded version of the KLR with, of course, a parallel twin. So I think it's going to be smoother. I think it's also going to be quite a bit more expensive though. And that's why I don't think it will actually ever replace the KLR 650. I think Kawasaki redesigned the Gen 3 to basically just ride out until maybe combustion engines aren't even a thing anymore, which I personally hope is never something that actually occurs. But I think that bike is here to stay. I think this KLE is just going to be sort of a step above or the next step up after a KLR. Without further ado, let's get into the footage and see what we can figure out about this new adventure bike from Kawasaki. So this is actually the final scene from the last teaser video, and the reason that I say that this is a continuation is because this is the start to this next teaser video. Not really a whole lot more visible here, but then all of a sudden, bam, we get this extra clear image, albeit a silhouette image, of what is just probably one of the most beautiful adventure bikes that I've seen. I remember the very first time that I saw the Tenere 700, I just thought it was the coolest looking bike, and man, I mean, this bike looks, well, almost exactly like the Tenere, to be honest. At least the silhouette does. But I suppose, to be fair, most adventure bikes do have a fairly similar shape, and that's just to get you a little bit of wind protection and sort of hide you behind the bike for those long hours out on the pavement. We can, of course, see that we've got the low fender here, a lot like the Tenere 700, and that was something that we could easily see in that last footage. It is definitely a nice looking front end. The windshield definitely looks like it will be a pretty good amount of wind protection. Depending on your height, it might not shoot it directly over your helmet, but it almost seems like the way that they've got the nice low seat here, that it should put you in a pretty good position where this may not require any sort of modification like the Gen 2 and Gen 3 KLRs certainly needed if you didn't enjoy having wind shot directly inside of your helmet. The other thing that I'm noticing here up front on the handlebars is we do have what looks to be some wraparound guards So that's definitely a good thing. I personally do not like riding a bike, especially off-road, without any sort of protection for my levers. And of course, the sort of high-profile wind guards that they've got on here, wind deflectors, are certainly a nice thing when the weather turns cold. But what I'm not so sure about is where these things connect on the inside towards the center portion of the bars. It looks as though maybe these just get mounted at the very ends of the handlebars and then don't connect to anything, which isn't going to make for the strongest crash protection, but at least it should be a step up from the flappy wind deflectors on the Gen 3 KLR. And before we move on to the rest of the bike, it does look like we should have a GPS bar up above whatever the stock gauge is going to be. I'm hoping that the dash has some sort of map capability where you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, and I'm sure there'll be an app, but then I'm hoping that you can actually get some navigation just right on the stock screen. If not, though, having the GPS bar there certainly will be nice. We can then mount something like the CarPride W702 units that I've got on my adventure builds. And if you guys haven't seen those videos and you're not familiar with this technology, I can put a link in the upper right here for the review video that I did. So next, the gas tank definitely looks like it should have some decent amount of capacity to it, and I would assume that this engine should get maybe even somewhere around 60 miles to the gallon or better. And I do like the way that this sort of dips down into the driver's seat, and then towards the back, things kind of elevate a bit for a passenger. And as long as Kawasaki designed the seat and the ergonomics of the bike right, there should be a few positions that we'll hopefully be able to sort of shift around in. Moving down a little bit here to the exhaust, we can see that, again, like I figured in the last video, it is low, just like the Tenere 700, maybe a little bit higher, but my guess is it's going to be the first thing that hits the ground. And I guess depending on where the actual bracket is here, I'm guessing it's actually going to be attached to the rear passenger peg here. It could get bent up pretty easily, and like I said in the last video, my guess is somebody like Camel ADV or other aftermarket suppliers will come out with some sort of higher mount kit to get this thing out of the way for those who plan to take this bike into situations where it's inevitably going to end up on its side. And I'm hoping this bike is designed to be a fairly off-road capable bike like the KLR was, rather than the rest of the KLEs, which, if you're unfamiliar, is actually the Versys line, which are primarily road-going adventure bikes, with the exception of the Versys 300X, which, well, really is still more of an on-road bike. And speaking of off-road capability, if we zoom in on the front suspension here, it seems as though without a rider on here anyway, there is ample room for these forks to collapse on themselves. So as long as they're sprung and damped properly, it's looking to me like this is definitely going to be a very off-road capable bike. My hope is, between my horsepower and weight assumptions, that this bike is going to be not only much better than the KLR 650 off-road, but also much better than the Tenere 700, or at least a lot more manageable anyway. As far as the skid plate goes, it's a little bit hard to tell what's going on here. I think some of this is exhaust, and from the last video, it didn't seem like there was too much going on in the front as far as a connection from the skid plate to the frame, so this may very well be attached to the engine, which I suppose if it's designed correctly could be okay, but I would certainly rather have a little bit more of a crumple zone between my bash plate and my engine. It's pretty hard to tell from this perspective, but it seems like we've got a decent amount of ground clearance. I would guess somewhere between 9 and 11 inches, and that's definitely going to be more than enough for some serious off-roading. Moving towards the back here, I think this is some sort of component from the rear suspension. It's a little bit hard to tell. It definitely doesn't hang down too far, so that's certainly a good thing. Of course, we could always add some sort of extension to the skid plate to sort of glide over it like I did with my DR650 skid plate. Now here we get what is probably the most exciting shot to me, and that's a shot of the front end. I was a little bit nervous after looking at the footage last time that they were going to use the same headlight that's in the Versys 300X. It was pretty blurry and hard to tell, but it almost looked like that could be what was on there, and I was really going to be disappointed if that was the case. But what Kawasaki put on the front of this does look maybe a little bit like the lights on the Africa Twin, but they still have a bit of a style all their own. And I've got to say, it is, I think, one of the most beautiful faces and kind of most aggressive looking faces I've seen on an adventure bike in a long time. And then, of course, we get the date on the screen, which is, I'm assuming, when we're going to get a lot more information on this bike. My guess is this is not when they're actually going to be available for sale. I'm sure we won't see them until next spring sometime. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely pretty excited to see what this thing looks like in its entirety, in color, and to see if my assumptions and guesses line up with the actual specs that Kawasaki is hopefully going to have for us, maybe even as soon as the 24th. My guess is they probably don't have the cost ready, or at least they're not ready to release it yet. My assumption for that is it's probably going to be somewhere around $10,000. If they stuck more to $9,000, I think this bike, a lot like the KLR, would be basically in a class all its own and really would be a pretty hard bike to compete with. Either way, I think bikes like this are definitely something that we're going to start to see more of, and I'm pretty excited because with that horsepower, with that weight, again, all my assumptions, I just don't think there's going to be anything better. I think the KLR will always be a great budget option or a very simplistic option for those who prefer a single cylinder. But man, this new KLE has really got me pretty excited. If you guys are excited about it too, don't be afraid to let me know down in the comments section. If you think that this video would be interesting to somebody that you know, please feel free to share the video. I would definitely appreciate it. Until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, stay swanky, get out there and enjoy this beautiful world God created any chance you get. And if you can't do that right now, here's more videos to check out. In the meantime, we'll catch you guys in the next one.